Welcome to the Alpha Girl Confidence Podcast, where we are empowering youth female athletes to play and live confidently. My name is Shay, and each week I will bring you new episodes to teach you the strategies and tools that you need in order to live a confident, empowered life both on and off the playing field. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the show. So this week I was just reminiscing on my high school career, my high school life as a teenager. And I really wish that I would have had someone to teach me a couple things that I think would have made my life a heck of a lot easier at the time. So in today's episode, I want to tell you the 3 lessons that I wish I would have known when I was a high school or even middle school student athlete. So the first lesson here, and I think this is something that everybody, especially teenage girls, really need to focus on, especially when it comes to college recruiting. So that lesson is that everyone has a different path. So for me, I was always so concerned about everybody else's recruiting journey, what everyone else was doing, who everyone else was getting emails from. And that took a really big hit to my confidence because my teammates were getting recruited by some really big schools, North Carolina, Santa Clara, BYU. Like they were getting recruited by these really, really high level schools. And I felt behind still from my injury, not in the physical space as much, but I felt behind in my confidence and my mental space. And so by always comparing myself to other people and thinking, oh, if they're doing this, then I need to be doing this. Right. And I felt a lot of pressure to really be the one to go play D1. Like everyone on my team was going to go play D1. And so I felt that my path had to be the same as everybody else's. And I'm here to tell you that your path should not be like anyone else's. Everyone has a different path. And if you go back and you listen to episode 100 with Lauren Silver, she talks about the thing that you need to be successful is you've got to have your own path. You've got to forge your own path. So that's one lesson that I really wish that I would have taken to heart when I was a high school student athlete, because I think it would have allowed me to be a lot more successful and a lot more focused in what I was trying to do and not so focused on what everyone else was trying to do. Okay, so that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is to choose your own beliefs. So with this one goes deep, but growing up, like we develop a lot of the same beliefs and a lot of the same mindsets that our parents had, right? And although like some of those are great and some of those are going to serve you, a lot of those aren't always going to serve you to be the best that you can be, right? So the thing that we have to think about is we have the power to choose our own beliefs. A lot of the beliefs we had are instilled in us from a very young age, and we didn't necessarily choose those. It was more like they chose us, right? So it's really important for you to first evaluate what your beliefs are and evaluate, is this belief serving me every day? Or is this a limiting belief that's holding me back from becoming who I really want to become? Right. And when you're able to evaluate the current beliefs that you have, you can also evaluate, well, where did that belief come from? Is that a belief that I have chosen to take on? Or is this a belief that my parents, coaches, teachers have pretty much given to me that don't serve me? Right. So just realize that your beliefs are everything. Right. So I always talk about your thoughts leads to your beliefs, which leads to your actions, which leads to your results. So if you have beliefs that are holding you back, and those are beliefs you haven't chosen, you need to find new beliefs. You need to dig down deep and figure out what are some new beliefs that I can create and that I can choose that are going to empower me to bust through any of these glass ceilings that are holding me back. All right. So number 1 with like choosing your own beliefs is evaluate your current beliefs and then find those new beliefs and choose them. Don't let someone choose them for you. And then number 3, the third lesson is your mental health comes first. And I know, especially in this time, right, mental health is something that a lot of kids are struggling with. And not even kids, but a lot of people are struggling with in times of uncertainty, of losing jobs, of seasons getting canceled, of, being locked down, of not having control over everything, right? So especially during this time, during this whole year, mental health has been harder than ever to like really be good at, right? Not be good at, but be healthy. So your mental health comes first, because without your mental health, you have nothing. Without your mental health, you're not going to be motivated to go out. Without your mental health, you're not going to be happy. Without your mental health, you're not going to be the best person for you, and you're not going to be the best person for other people. So for me, in my experience with mental health, is I was really, and the reason why I wish I would have known this lesson back when I was in high school is because at the time, I struggled with anxiety a lot. Middle school, high school, it got a lot better in college. And then even the beginning of this year, it wasn't very good at all. So for me, I was embarrassed and ashamed to have anxiety. Like if I went out with friends and I was anxious, I would never tell anybody, right? I would never admit to people that I had anxiety because, and now we're in a phase in kind of the generation now where it's more talked about and it's easier to talk about. But still, I think a lot of girls are still ashamed and embarrassed to have anxiety. And that was me when I was young. I didn't have the resources. Like I probably needed to be in therapy at the time, right? But that wasn't the norm. So I wish that I would have taken my mental health more seriously. I wish I wouldn't have been so embarrassed about it. And I wish that I would have asked for help. That's the big thing, is I didn't ask for help. And if I would have just asked for help, even if it's asking my parents and just talking to my parents about it, or asking to see a therapist, or being able to talk to my friends. I think if I would have just asked for help, it would have made my journey through being anxious as a kid much, much easier. And for me, I always thought when I had anxiety all the way from when I was little. And I always thought, oh, when I get older, when I graduate college, when I graduate high school, it's going to go away. For some reason, I had this notion that when you're an adult, you don't have to deal with anxiety. And that's completely probably opposite, right? A lot of times as you become an adult, it can get worse because you have more stress as you have more things going on. So that's the other thing, is I wish I would have been able to talk to somebody to realize that this is something that doesn't just go away. It's something that needs to be worked on. And like I said, mental health, when I was growing up, I'm going to get real. I always thought that I don't care what I'm doing. The only thing that I need to be happy is I need to not be anxious. Like it was bad to where I didn't care if I was bored, if I was miserable, but as long as I wasn't anxious, I was okay, because being anxious for me was the absolute worst feeling in the world. And I bottled it up when I was younger. Like I said, I bottled it up because I didn't have anyone to talk to. So that's lesson 3, is really prioritize your mental health and find someone to talk to if you're struggling with it. We can't keep it bottled up. When you keep it bottled up, it stays there, right? It stays there and it festers and it gets worse and worse and worse. So if you're someone that struggles with that, find someone to talk to. If you don't have anyone to talk to, you got me, right? I've been there, I've done that. I'm continuing to work on it. But if you need someone to talk to, find someone to talk to. If you can't find someone, talk to me. You can message me on Instagram. You can email me. You can whatever, but find me and talk to me. So those are my 3 lessons. So as a recap, number 1 is to realize that everyone has their own path, and to choose your own path, to focus on your own path. Number 2 is to choose your own beliefs. Don't let these adopted beliefs overcome your life. Like, choose your own beliefs. Beliefs are going to empower you. And number 3 is prioritize your mental health. And if you're struggling with it, find somebody to talk to. Don't be embarrassed about it, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's millions and millions of people out there in the world who struggle with it. So I hope this episode helped you. Please take these lessons and run with them. If you're a middle school athlete, high school athlete, even college athlete, even if you're a parent listening to this, right? You can take these same concepts and apply them to your life. So thank you so much for listening. If it helped you, please leave a review on iTunes. I would really appreciate it. And also share this episode with a friend who may need it. All right. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on next week's episode.